morning, grinders. Welcome to RotoGrinders Today. I'm Jordan Cooper, a.k.a. BlenderHD, BlenderHD. If you want to follow me on Twitter. And it's Thursday, October 26th. We'll be taking a look at Thursday night football, Bills versus Buccaneers, as well as some props, some pick'em. We got 2 NBA games tonight. We got a big NHL slate. If you want to check out all of our content for all of that college football coming up this weekend, I think there's a game tonight. We got everything covered for you. Click on that link in the description. Get $10 off your first month of RotoGrinders Combo Premium. You get all the projections. You get a lineup HQ. You get the premiums. You get everything. So go check that out. Hit that thumbs up button on your first thing in the morning. Give me those thumbs. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Hit the notification bell to always know when we go live. Waking up early in the morning, all the way from the middle of nowhere in Saskatchewan, Canada. It's TJ ZWARYCH. Are you ready for this Bills Buccaneers game? It doesn't sound like a Thursday night football game, but we all know that we go in with good expectations and it turns into a Thursday night football game.
Especially with how the Bills have been playing lately, definitely could get ugly in this one if they're not up to what we have grown to expect from the Buffalo Bills. But I'm doing well this morning. There's snow on the ground here in Saskatchewan. It's getting cold. The seasonal depression's already kicking in. But, you know, life's good. I just finished up the Spider-Man 2 game for PS5 yesterday. I'm feeling good about it. We got NBA. The games went great for me last night. We got NFL today, more NBA, NHL. I'm excited.
You say it's snowing down there. I'm here in Louisville, Kentucky, and today's high is 76.
The day's high.
It'll be like down in the 50s next week. It's everything's coming through, but I'm appreciating it. I don't like the cold. You're from Canada, so you're used to it, and of course I'm from New York, so I'm used to cold. I prefer the 60s and 70s. Once it starts getting cold, I mean, I don't go out as it is much, but once it gets into the 20s and 30s. I mean, to you, 20s and 30s, that's in January, February, that's like shorts weather, right?
It's like, it's a high of 28.
It's a positive number. Oh, okay. That's going to be a warm day.
Yeah, it's a high of 28 today. So we're sticking inside now.
Well, let's take a look at the Bills-Buccaneers game tonight. Chris Gimino has put up the Showdown HQ for Thursday Night Football. This is for premium members. You get the whole content hub. You get lineup HQ. You get the single game sim tool. You get, obviously, the weather report, the optimizer values, the ground down. That's free content. You go to rotogrinders.com for that. You also get Parlay IQ as part of scores and odds. But this sim tool will show you what our current projections and projected ownership are. And based on our simulations, what like the roster construction breakdowns are for this slate, captain usage by position, is all powered by our sim labs, which I've been told, maybe I'll be the first to break it, will be coming out publicly next week. So we have been playing around with it the past month or two behind the scenes. It is now being beta tested by a couple of users. So we'd be able to run like actual simulated lineups and show you that on this show. And that'll probably be part of, premium membership. But that's what this is all powered by. So we take a look at lineup HQ and our current projections and ownership and everything. I mean, this is a very top-heavy, TJ, top-heavy player basis. Like, to me, it seems like projection-wise, you have Allen and Diggs, like, clearly, like, 7 points higher than any other player. Obviously, they're both in the 11Ks. And then you got, in the mid-range, you got Evans, Mayfield, Cook, White, Godwin, maybe some Gabe Davis, maybe some Dalton Kincaid in there, and they all project fairly well. And then you got a bunch of kind of like the cheapies that you have to hope, kind of catch a touchdown or get there on a long, long play. This seems like the type of slate where it's. Do you envision? I know you said that the Bills struggling a bit. I don't want to call this a get right spot because I'm not predicting what the game is going to be. But based on our projections, it seems inevitable that if I were to play any lineup, it's hard to say that you wouldn't have a lineup that had at least one of Allen or Diggs.
Yeah, especially because everybody else is cheap enough that it's easy to pay up for them. And so I'm probably still getting I'm probably getting Allen in every single lineup, and Allen or Diggs in every single lineup for sure, but probably close to both of them in most lineups. Like, you look at Josh Allen's very worst game this year, and he had won the two against the two New York teams where he was at about 13, 14, 15 points, but every other game is at least 23, 24, 25. And so I would probably still have Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs in almost every lineup I'm playing. The Bills have been terrible, but like you said, the projections have them going well, and we expected this team to be a lot better than they had been playing. Even if they're playing poorly, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are probably going to be the highest scoring players in this game.
Right. The question is playing them together, not playing them together. Obviously, you get into, duplication problems on large field contests, but our current optimal has, them both in. I mean, it makes sense when they're 7 points higher projected than any other player on the slate. But it doesn't necessarily shy you away from the Bucks at all. Evans, Godwin. We see Rachaad White has become, like, he may not run the ball. Like, the Buccaneers do not run the ball well, but they have no problem throwing a Rachaad White out of the backfield. He's 8K. He's been seeding a bunch of work to Keyshawn Vaughn. I think Vaughn is going to be a popular punt play. He's only 600 down there. Do you think that, I mean, typically you don't take running backs, underdog running backs, 9-point favorite, 8.5-point favorite. But I almost prefer, it's weird to say, I almost preferred Rachaad White to James Cook, because like Latavius Murray is here at 4,800, and we see way too much of Latavius Murray in the Bills offense, especially with pass blocking. Like, if you think it's kind of, I view it as the Bills are a weird team when it comes to running backs. Like, James Cook is more of a pass catching back, and he's featured more. Latavius Murray is more of a, just run up the line. He can catch balls out of the backfield, but that's not primarily how they use him. The thing is that McDermott, they have Murray there for pass protection. So if the Bills are throwing the ball, it's actually more likely that Murray gets snaps, even though Cook is the better, catch the ball out of the backfield type of back. So it's kind of a weird dichotomy. If you think that Allen and Diggs don't do as well and they get a lot of their yardage on the ground, really it's James Cook who you want, not Latavius Murray. And Latavius Murray is almost better paired with Josh Allen than James Cook. Have you seen a team that is kind of like in that dynamic where you kind of want, it's like wanting Clyde Edwards-Helaire with Patrick Mahomes. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. But for the way that the Bills run their offense, if Allen's dropping back to pass 45 times, it's much more likely you're going to see more snaps from Murray than you will of Cook.
Yeah, I honestly think you can play them together too, depending on the lineup that you're running out there today. But I'm interested in getting to both of them. But it's like you said, like, not only if he's dropping back to pass 45 times, but they often throw Latavius Murray in there as soon as they get into the red zone for pass blocking and for just punching it in as well. So they definitely run it in an interesting way. Without Damian Harris, that makes it a lot clearer for us. We just have it narrowed down to 2. But I'll probably end up a little underweight on James Cook and a little over on Latavius Murray.
Then how about the Buccaneers running backs?
I'll play both. The thing with White is, like you said, they don't run well, but he's one of their most active pass catchers when they are having to throw the ball a lot, whether it's coming back, 2-minute drill, whatever it is. And so I think Rachaad White is in play, even if you're kind of running a Bills heavy lineup, and maybe that'll be a way to get a little bit contrarian. Maybe people are only using him as like the typical running back style in these showdowns in their builds throughout these showdown lineups. And so I think that could potentially lower his ownership in Bills heavy lineups, which is interesting because him, Mike Evans, and Godwin are still going to be the primary targets in those situations. Keyshawn Vaughn, because of his price, I think is very interesting as well. Sub 1K. He gets targets, not a lot, but he gets a couple targets. He gets some rushing attempts. If he breaks one for 20 yards, or if he gets one reception, one touchdown, then he breaks the slate at that price. But at $600, he really just needs, a couple first down runs, one solid catch, and he pays off that price tag. So I do think he's in play as well.
Let's talk about another popular player on this slate. People have been itching to play this guy. They've been playing him in the main slate when Dawson Knox is still around. Dalton Kincaid is 5K. Knox is going to be out for a while. He's obvious. I mean, from a tight end perspective, he's going to be pretty much their full-time tight end. I mean, you'll see, some practice squad guy. I mean, I don't know who's down here. Joel Wilson or something like that, primarily for blocking purposes.
Reggie Gilliam could come in there and throw and catch a touchdown.
Well, sure. Any random guy can.
He's an athlete though. Like, he's there for the purpose of, like, they'll throw him in play action and then actually use him if he dresses.
But Dalton Kincaid, from a point per dollar standpoint, is one of the highest values on the slate at 5K. My I want to say galaxy brain type of thing is that Kincaid is typically used not as a traditional tight end. See, the thing on this type of game is that, is Kincaid going to play the Dawson Knox role, or is Kincaid going to play his role and have someone else play Dawson Knox's role? Because I ask this because I look at Khalil Shakir at 3,200, and if Kincaid is going to act as a tight end, like there's the slot guy in these like three wide receiver formations, it's not going to be Deontay Hardy, right? It's going to be more like they've been using Shakir in the slot and kind of those, like when Kincaid's not, like Kincaid's direct backup is kind of Khalil Shakir, not another tight end when he plays with Dawson Knox. But with Knox out, how do you think that the Bills are going to run? I mean, I think all these guys are viable, obviously, but if I know that Kincaid's ownership is going to be fairly high, I'm trying to find like where the direct leverage would be. It's like, well, people are going to just play Kincaid, not realize that Knox out actually benefits other people as well.
Yeah, because it's one of two things that they could do here. It's they could change up their scheme a little bit, run more one tight end sets, have Kincaid there, or they could do exactly what they always do and just plug somebody else into Dawson Knox's spot. They could just use Reggie Gilliam and or other players there. And so I think the way I would handle this is I would go to the player group section in Lineup HQ. I would build a rule that says I want to have at least one of Dalton Kincaid, Reggie Gilliam, and Khalil Shakir in every single lineup that I build. By doing that,
I'm showing on the screen how you would do that in Lineup HQ for those that don't have it.
Yeah, so I would play. I'd probably do 1 to 2 of those players.
So you wouldn't mind having two. You wouldn't mind having two of these players.
No, just to get a little bit different. I don't hate that idea, but I would probably have 1 to 2 of these players in every single lineup. The majority just 1, but I don't hate the idea of getting 2 to get a little bit different here because they might not just pick one option. They'll run, maybe they run more one tight end sets with just Kincaid there. And then when they bounce to the 2 tight end sets, he goes back to his regular slot position and they put another tight end there. Maybe sometimes he's in the tight end spot and they bring in Khalil Shakir. So it could be a combo as well. I wouldn't want to get more than 2, but I would be okay with getting up to 2. And this way, I think we'll get more Kincaid ownership than we're currently projecting. We're currently projecting 30%. I think it's probably going to be more likely to 40, 45, even 50. And so this way, we probably get 70%, I would guess, with this build. We're over the field. We're taking a stand on the chalk and getting over it. Or you can manually adjust things in your exposures in Lineup HQ to make sure you're getting more Khalil Shakir, more Reggie Gilliam if you wanted to stay on that side of the stand. But I think this allows us to either go, well, I can get even with Kincaid and just make sure I'm getting over the field on Gilliam and Shakir, or I can get way under on Kincaid and make sure I'm getting a lot of Shakir and Gilliam, Or maybe I just want to get 85% Kincaid today and a small amount of Gilliam and Shakir since they're going to be low owned anyways, and take a double stand on Kincaid. But this build, that player group allows you to do any of those three options.
Well, looking at our sim tool, our current one, obviously it does get updated later as inactives, projection changes, ownership changes. Construction wise, this leans. I mean, it makes sense. The Bills are a 9.8 and a half, 9-point home favorite. Very skewed towards Bills heavy lineups, onslaught types. We have 17.5% in the 5-1, 28% in the 4-2, 33 in the 3-3. Like one fives, like not much there, right? Even the 2-4, there are more 5-1 optimals than there are 2-4 optimals. And 2-4s are kind of my special. I like playing 2-4s in Showdown because they typically are. I mean, obviously 1-5s are very underowned, but 2-4s, meaning a 2-4 would mean play Godwin in the captain, Mayfield in the flex, and then 4 Bills in the flex. Also, like that's a 2-4 lineup. But our simulations are basically saying, most likely, I mean, obviously outside of duplication, you're going to be slamming the Bills on this slate. The question is, how do you play it? If you were to do Bills onslaughts, 5-1s, 4-2s even, and not run into duplication issues, like, so TJ, how would you play differently, like a 5-1 or a 4-2, when you're not playing both of Allen or Diggs in just one of them? Because I think when you play both of them, it kind of funnels you into the same spots because you just don't have much salary left to play like Evans and Mayfield and all these guys together. But if you were to just play one, 2 questions, TJ, and you're playing like a 5-1 type, an onslaught Bills lineup, but you're just playing one of these guys, would you play that guy in the captain spot? And if not, how would you construct the lineup? What are you more likely to what bucks are you throwing in, and how are you getting different in order to avoid kind of the trains of duplicated onslaught lineups?
So I would probably keep Josh Allen or Stephon Diggs in the flex as opposed to the captain position in that spot, just because we're currently projecting both of them to get about 20% ownership at the flex, and nobody else is expected to get even double-digit ownership. Even if we switch it to the blitz projections, it just puts Josh Allen even higher, Stephon Diggs a little bit lower, but Mike Evans is the next highest owned captain at 7.5%. And so I'm definitely going to be. I would probably pick another one there. If I was only going to pick one, it would be Diggs. But a Diggs in the captain without Josh Allen, yeah, that's a way to get super different. But it also doesn't correlate very well at all.
No, but the way that you could correlate this is basically what you're saying. Like, always think of like not just the correlation of like the player to player on like a single play, but think of like the game script that this could have. So basically, you're saying that the optimal lineup would have Diggs at captain, but Allen at his price would not be able to be in the flex spot, which means how else has the Bills scored touchdowns? Probably through someone like James Cook, through the ground, and then
maybe even James Cook and Latavius
Murray, right?
And then if I'm doing that as well, I would probably want to throw in Tyler Bass, because what that's telling me is maybe the Bills don't score a lot of touchdowns. Maybe they have to settle for some field goals. Maybe Josh Allen doesn't throw a touchdown today. James Cook rushes for one. Latavius Murray rushes for one. Tyler Bass kicks 4 or 5 field goals. And Stephon Diggs has 150 yards on 10 receptions, but doesn't make it into the end zone today.
Or maybe he makes it in the end zone, but Josh Allen's 1 touchdown on his doesn't hit there. So you could plug this all in and still have money for actual people, right? You could play Baker Mayfield. You could play. I mean, you could figure something out here. You could play Evans.
I like the idea of doing like Evans and then something like obviously we don't want to give the whole thing away, so we can but like something like a Bills defense I think correlates with that well and would be a very different lineup.
Right. I mean, you wouldn't be able to afford the Bills defense, but you're close. Right. But if you had Godwin in there, right? You have Godwin, 6,300 left, right? And you leave money on the table. So that's fine. You leave 1,900 on the table.
Yeah.
Right. This is the way that I like this. This is the way you have two running, and people would look at this lineup and go, what a crazy lineup. It's like, well, we talked through it. It's not, this is what the Sims would do. Now, I don't know this specific lineup, but the Sims would play by play, go through the entire game and come up with all these outcomes and spit out these lineups of like, this is a lineup that scores X in certain simulations and everything. And we'll have that Showdown. You know, we've been testing it on Showdown, and Jamino has been posting in our internal Slack or Discord or whatever that after the past like 3 weeks, it's like, oh yeah, winning lineup in Showdown was like our number 17 in our Sims, and it's like winning Showdown number 22 in our Sim. Like these are lineups that could be easily gotten to, and some of them look weird. Some of them look weird. Some of them like go, oh, that's a little bit weird construction. It's like, yeah. Number 36 in our, I mean, like not like this was the 7,422 lineup, some nutso lineup. It's like, nope. You simmed out the game. This was like our 22nd highest rated lineup. You could have played. I mean, 38 people did play, and I mean, it was split a bunch of ways, but I'm excited, TJ. I don't know. Have you been playing around with the SimLab stuff or behind the scenes, or have you gotten access to that, or am I the only one having the fun?
I have not done that yet, but maybe today's the day. Maybe this slate is the one. I've had so many like Showdown contents and articles, and then been so busy with Agents of Fandom lately. For Showdowns, I've really just been playing like 1 to 5 lineups, and I've hand built all of them just based on the research I've done throughout the day. So maybe today is the day that we dive into it a little bit.
Right, because you could lock in. We'll be showing this next week. You could even you could lock in the players that you want to lock in. You could just say like I want to see a Diggs captain lineup with no Allen, and then let it show you. Here's the top 20 rated lineups. Here's and they're ranked on certain metrics, on like projection, on ownership, on top 100, on cash rate and stuff like that. So like if you have a theory. Like you said, why don't we play Cook and Murray together? Well, you could just take that theory and go over to SimLabs and just go, okay, I want to see a lineup that has no Allen but Cook and Murray in it, and see what the top simulated lineups and who else would be in the lineup in those cases where that lineup makes it into the top 100, makes it into the highest cash rate, that type of thing. So I think it's wonder. I did it for the NFL Classic slate, DJ. Like this past slate on Sunday, I built a lot of lineups that had like multiple one-team onslaught correlations of like running back, wide receiver from the same team, mixed with 3 guys from another team, and just like no run backs, no nothing. Like I'm not just deciding that on like a whim. I'm like, well, it's a low-scoring week, and maybe there's only 2 or 3 teams that score a whole bunch of points, and that's it. And I'd rather just have as many guys from those, and give me 2 or 3 guys from those teams, and just pair those together, almost like it's hockey. Right? It's like just like give me a like MLB type of thing. And I went into SimLabs and I said, okay, let me see this. Am I doing something nuts that isn't? No, it actually did better. These lineups were rated better than the ones that had like 8 1-offs or anything like that. These are rated better than the 3-man stacks with the run back. So yeah, screw that. I'm building my 12 GPP lineups. I'm building this way. So it's not just you plug stuff in and here's 150 lineups and play around with some settings and everything like that. You could just say, I want to play this guy, that guy, and this guy. Everything else, just give me what are some of the top simulated ways the rest of the lineup goes. And then you could choose from build 50, take a look and just go, okay, that looks good. And pick that one, right? If you have 3, you could just save those 3 and go, okay. It's simulator approved. So I think TJ a lot on these shows, especially Showdown. We're gonna be showing SimLabs. I think maybe more than we show Lineup HQ.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
I'm getting you excited.
I
need to warm you up. I need to warm you up there in Canada.
I got a baby on the way, Blender. I need to make some money.
I'm supposed to say congratulations.
No, you're supposed to say good. That's why the SimLabs are coming, so you can fill up that bank account.
Oh, well, no. Well, it's going to get drained when you have a kid. It's the most
Yeah, I know.
expensive thing you could ever
That's why I
do.
gotta fill it up with DFS because it's gonna get
Yeah, well,
drained
you
by the
should have
kid.
You should have thought of that before you had the kid.
I'm playing for 2 now.
Oh, you're playing. But you can't really play for 2 until your kid's like 18 or 21, right?
Yeah, then we get to build then we get that extra 150 in the Miller Maker.
Right, of course. You got the right because you can't lose with 300 lineups.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on
Just
to
lose
props and
double.
pick'em. We got some NHL tonight. We got NBA, a little bit of NBA. We got some college football. Obviously, we got NFL tonight. Have you taken a look at anything that's going on today as far as props, pick'em, prize picks, underdog? I mean, I'm going to say this before showing our props and pick'em tool. But is there anything that you've written up on like scores and odds or anything you're taking a look at today?
I have looked at NFL so far. I haven't glanced at NBA or NHL, but I will be writing both an NBA and an NFL prize picks articles for today's content right after this one. So I'm going to have an NBA one on the 2-game slate for prize picks. I'm going to have an NFL one on the single game for prize picks. And then I'll be on the expert survey as well for Thursday Night Football today. But I have started to look at the props so far. Couple that I'm looking at right now are James Cook, more than 18.5 receiving yards. I like that one quite a bit. In addition, I was also looking at Rachaad White, more than 3.5 receptions. That was another one I was looking at, either that or his receiving yard prop. That's where I'm kind of early look is the running backs and their receptions is where I'm looking at things so far. But I still have to dive in quite a bit more here. It'd be nice. One thing I would love to see as an addition to our pick'em tool is to just be able to sort by game.
Right. Well, I would like that even if they list the teams.
Yeah.
Like what I don't like about the prop model, especially when you don't know the sport as much, is that they just talk about this guy and I don't know what team he's on. I still have to find the guy, right? A little criticism towards the, right? You go look at the prop model. It's like, what if you didn't know what team Isaiah Pacheco's on because you don't play NFL? It's like I gotta Google that. I do that for NFL. But we see here, if you're a RotoGrinders premium member, you don't even have to be one. You could, if you don't want to play that much DFS anymore and you just want props and pick them, and you want to use the RotoGrinders projections and everything and our entire team for that, you could just purchase the props and pick 'em package, right? You get the expert analysis as well as access to our pick 'em tool, our props tool, all of our projections and everything like that. So, I mean, I could just look right here on NFL. Obviously, we got projections up for Sunday as well, but I'm just looking down like Mike Evans, more than 57.5 receiving yards. We have that as a 63.3% chance. So if that's available on Prize Picks, which it should be because it's listed here, that would be something to take a look at, right? NBA, we got NBA as well for tonight, right? Anthony Davis under a half a 3-pointer. Is that actually available on Prize Picks? I mean, that's a pretty typically you don't see like 69.9% or something like that. Let's take a look. Is that still available on Prize Picks?
I have underdog.
I mean, it gets updated.
Now.
I mean, some of these you have to get quick if they have enough of an edge, right? NBA 3-pointers, 3 points made. Yeah, it's not there anymore.
It's not on underdog either.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't. Right. That's why. I mean, my first reaction was like, yeah, because you're looking for props based on it, as long as the half points to be like 55+% win percentages.
Yeah,
that's how you have to get paid on Prize Picks at like -120 or so. So when I see something that's nearly 70%, it's like, yeah, that's not gonna last on Prize. That people are gonna hit that, and then Prize Picks is gonna go, no, I don't think so. That was too much, right? So you could use these tools. I mean, I download and export our projections, which you could get via CSV, like directly from the site. I could load it into Excel. I could load it into anything I want. But if you're just looking for like a couple, right? Me, like I described before the show, like yesterday I had 117 bets, right? So I'm not going through and going, well, how about this and how about that? I'm just like, just give me the fire hose. Give me the RotoGrinders fire hose. I throw it up on the screen next to me and I start from the top and I just click buttons. I'm just clicking buttons for like 90 minutes of like, okay, this guy, this book, this guy. Okay, let me go over to BetMGM, this guy, this, and just keep on. By the end of it, dude, the games come around. I'm not even sure what I have anymore. I'm literally like, it's just like, okay, it's 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, okay, how am I doing? Oh, okay. Oh, he went over. Oh, he went under. Like, I don't even know. Just that all I know is that most of the time when I wake up in the morning and I reload my tracker, it's like, oh, I made $200, $300. It's okay. Okay. Sounds good to me. Right. Awesome. Right. But if you want to be a little bit more selective, I mean, you could just use our tools here. I mean, hey, there's what, 2 games going on tonight? Like, I literally could just go here, right? We have our prop model also, our top 20. So you can go to the NBA tab right now, right? NBA tab. It's loaded. Always check the timestamps. Always check the timestamps. Because who's in, who's out, and anything. So it's like Malik Beasley under 9.5 points on FanDuel. Win rate 65%, edge 10%. So if that's still up on FanDuel, Malik Beasley under 9.5 points, I will have that. That is it kind of weird, TJ? A lot of people, like, they look at me funny when I'm like, I just trust the people that are in charge of the projections, of like people that model and the people that put in the inputs, because we have experts that put in all the inputs that this is what the output is. That I have no take on Malik Beasley at all. It's just that, well, our numbers say that it should go under 65% of the time. I'm probably getting paid something like, like -1, probably -120 or something like that. Yeah, 10% edge. So I'm getting paid -120 or so. Just give it to me. And just go down the list and just say, okay, if our team's good, I should make money.
Yeah, exactly. And our team is fantastic. So I think that is, I don't look at you weird for doing that at all. I think that makes 100% sense.
Well, people
I
look
can
at
get
me weird.
Malik Beasley under.
They'll go, why? They go, why are you on Malik Beasley's under? And I'll go, I literally have no idea, but that's what the model says.
I just took Malik Beasley's under.
Right?
Nine
Some
and a half.
people have put it in that it comes out that way. So give it to me. Right?
The only place I can do a lot of DFS pick'em on Prize Picks and Underdog, but the only place I can sports bet is a website called playnow.com that's legal here in Saskatchewan. All the money stays in province. It's a pretty cool system, but I do have Malik Beasley under 9.5 on there, so I just hit it.
How the number? I mean, is that like the only book that's available in Saskatchewan?
Yeah.
So probably the numbers are a little bit worse.
Honestly, they're usually a little bit better.
Really?
Yeah, they're usually a little bit better than
no competition. They could give you 40-cent spreads, no problem.
On consistently for home run picks throughout the year, I was getting them almost like a full plus 100 better than anywhere else.
So I guess you could find. I mean, every book, even if it's the only book, when they try to offer betting menus with like 7,000 other things, you could always find the weak points, right? There's always going to be something, right? I mean, because even during MLB, like, you could notice that, like, yeah, you're not taking, total bases on FanDuel because they're awful, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you could take that on Bet365 if you have access to because theirs are absurd on the other direction of like, dude, like 40 cents off, like complete. And then FanDuel, it's like, no, you want an under? We ain't giving you access to unders on total bases, only overs with insane holds and one-way market. So it's like, you have to go pick and choose, the places that you take. I mean, it's easy for you on your wallet, on managing your money. But if you have access, if you're in a state that you have 15 sports books or something like that, there's no reason why you shouldn't have an account on all 15 of them. And especially the bonuses, like
I was in New York like a couple weeks ago, and I thought just because I was in New York, I was going to be able to sign up for all these sports books, get all the promos, and then just like do a bunch of betting over the weekend. But I needed an American address for them to verify who I was before I could do it, so I didn't get to do anything.
Just to put things into perspective, I've access to 5, technically 6. Fanatics is the 6th one, but I have accounts on 5 sports books, And every day, I do things by hand a lot of times. I go to all the sites, and I write down all the promos that they have available today. Boost, promos, bonuses, anything like that. This is the list for just today. I'm going to throw it on the screen. Like, look, the whole thing. These are all bonuses. These are all promos. So, like, just going through and just like FanDuel, okay, they have a 50% boost on an SGP tonight, up to $50. NBA, they have a 50% boost for NBA. They got a college football 3-leg parlay 50% boost. DK has very similar NHL 3-leg 100% boost. The college football Georgia Florida game 50% boost. Right, you go to Caesars and they have like the Louisville, because I'm in Kentucky, so here's a 50% boost on the Louisville game. You know, MGM has 100% token matches, and all I do is I go through these and I look at our projections. It's not like I'm like, okay, I could randomly take something. It's like, why don't I go through and take, they're giving me a 50% boost for a 3-leg parlay. Yeah, I know the hold is a little bit higher, but it's a 3-leg parlay. I already have 14 plus EV bets already in. So let me just take 3 of them, take the 3 ones with the highest edge and putting them together. And just like, okay, just increase my variance right there. It's $50. And it's like going on underdog or prize picks, right? It's like, this is plus EV as it is. So give it to me. And the benefit, TJ, is that when you're using all these bonuses, a lot of them are parlays and SGPs and stuff like that, to the book, if some trader is looking at my account, just sees like, oh, this guy's a degenerate. He's just betting like $20-$30 on like 700 things. But he's also taking parlays and sides and totals and boosts and everything. So, you know, when people say that, well, you bet on props, you're going to get limited. It's like, yeah, if you're trying to bet like, you know, I'm going to take the 3 best edges and try to get $1,000 on it at the same book, like, yeah, that may be a problem, right? You may be limited down to, you know, $12 at some point. But if you're just like, if you're spamming the crap out of them and you're using they give you the boost for a reason, TJ. They want you to use them, right? They want MLB. I took a Rangers to win the World Series because they gave it to me. Like they said, do you want $25 on the Rangers to win the World Series? We're going to 300X. Like 300, like the odds were whatever it was, it's 3X those odds. So I'm like, it can't not be plus EV. I know let's say the hold in the market was like 15%, which is high for just a main, even a futures market like that. Like, dude, once you give me a 300% boost, it's like, I can pick anyone I want, right? They just gave it to me. They're just like, here, you just put $25. We're going to pay you plus whatever the hell it was. And I go, okay, give it to me, put it in. Now, if they win the World Series, great. If they don't, whatever. But I mean, it's like, this stuff is like free money. It's free EV, right? This is the stuff. So you have to, TJ, you need to find a way to get a second account, right? Because now you're betting for 2, right? So you need to get double the amount of bonuses.
Exactly. I did actually just build a little underdog DFS pick'em card based on some of the things that we talked about and that I just threw in for tonight. So I got Malik Beasley lower than 9.5 points. I got James Cook higher than 18.5 receiving yards. Mike Evans higher than 58.5 receiving yards, and Dalton Kincaid higher than 38 receiving yards.
Okay. So there you go. If anyone wants to tail that, and that's based on our work here at RotoGrinders, and you can get it all clicking on that link in the description. Get $10 off your first month of our RotoGrinders combo premium subscription. Get access to everything. PGA, MMA, college football, college basketball will be coming back soon. NHL. We got a big NHL slate tonight. Been having fun playing some NHL DFS. 11-game slate. There'll be some content on that for premium members. We'll have crunch time later today. It's only a 2-game like NBA slate, so there's no Grinders live today. And then TJ, what else will you be doing for the rest of the weekend in NFL and stuff? I know you got a prize picks articles today, but what do you have in store for like the main slate for NFL?
So main slate for NFL, I will be on Crunch Time with Britt and Luch this weekend. And then in addition to that, I will be on the expert survey for NBA this weekend, as well as Sunday Night Football. And I will also be doing prize picks articles for Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, a DraftKings and FanDuel article for Sunday Night Football. And then I will be on NBA Crunch Time tonight with Roth and Squirrel, NBA Crunch Time with Tim on Saturday night, and NBA Crunch Time, and then on the pre-lock show with Will on Sunday Night Football as well.
Okay, so you're going to be busy. They're putting you to work before your kid comes.
Oh yeah, I'm always on Devin's tail about scheduling, and anytime I see some question marks, but because nobody's on it, I'll go, oh hey, I got that one. I'm trying to pick up as many things as possible.
You learn the sit. That's exactly what I did when I started, right?
Yeah,
I'll do the show and I'll be on anything, right? And now then you get to a certain point, it's like, I just kind of want to. I'll do my 11 a.m. show, and if people want to, once you start getting to, especially the way that I play, once you start getting too many 2v2 questions, you're like, yeah, maybe it's best if other people are on the show.
I've been a teacher for the last 5 years until like this was my first year ever that I didn't. This is my first year not going back to school since I was 4 years old, or maybe even younger because I had preschool things and stuff then. So I like teaching. I like teaching people how to do things, and so I do love doing this stuff.
I love teaching also, but I like teaching the gifted students. Right? I like those people, but the remedial class, screw you. No one else can teach that. I don't have patience for that. Get out of here. You don't know the basics? This is no fun for me. So TJ, so you'll be on all of that. Squirrel Patrol will be on tomorrow on talking about GPP strategy for the Sunday slate. So tune in for that. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out the door. Give me those thummy thumbs. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to always know when we go live. TJ, I know I sent you a wedding gift. You're one of the few. It's kind of weird. You're one of the few people I've ever sent a wedding gift to. Right. At all. Obviously, like my wife and just like me particularly. Are you going to have like a baby shower registry also? Because I sent you the dog poop bags.
Yeah.
That was on your list.
It was.
I will commit. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that you don't, right? But if you have like if you set up a registry for like baby shower gifts, whatever, I promise I will buy whatever the weirdest, like stupidest thing that's on there, right? So put that together, and I'll see you in like 8 months or whatever.
Deal. That sounds good to me.
Okay, so check out everything on the channel today, tomorrow. We got plenty of NFL content. Always hit that notification bell to know when we go live, because I'm here. 11 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday, talking about all things you're thinking about in daily fantasy, props, and pick 'em on RotoGrinders Today.